Hi, here we have an example of how to write the chemical equation for an electrolytic dissociation using polyatomic ion. So we're going to determine the chemical equation for the electrolytic dissociation of the solid sodium nitrate, which is CaHCO3 2. I'm going to start by first writing my electrolyte, which is the CaHCO3 2, up here. And it's in a solid phase, so I'm going to make sure that that is also written in. Now, to the right of the arrow, I've got to put in the arrow, and then to the right of the arrow, I'm going to write my cation and my anion. And calcium, that's pretty straightforward, but we've got a polyatomic ion right here, so which is our bicarbonate. So I've got to make sure that that is in also. All right, just erase that little bracket. I don't need it anymore. But what I do need is to make sure that we've got its phase. And the phase for calcium is aqueous. For the bicarbonate, it's also going to be aqueous. I don't want to forget that later on, so I'm going to put it in right away. I'm ready to put in the charges. So I'm going to have to look up my bicarbonate. And of course, here's the polyatomic ion list, are the typical ones anyway. And the one we want to focus on is the bicarbonate. It's got a -1 charge. So I'm going to put that up here next to my bicarbonate. Now I'm going to look at my calcium. Sorry, a little pause there, but I'm going to look at my calcium. My calcium is going to be coming right from the periodic table. So if I take a look at the periodic table, I see that calcium is in the alkaline earth metal group, which is in the second family there. And that typically has a 2+ charge. So I've got my charges there, and I just have to take a little check at my overall equation and make sure everything's balanced. Now I can see that over here I have 1 calcium, but I have 2 bicarbonates. So I'm going to have to go and put that 2 bicarbonate over here in as a coefficient to make sure that everything balances out. I'm ready now to make sure that my charges balance out, now that my equation works. So a quick look at my charges. I want to make sure everything gets to 0. So I have 2+ for my calcium. There's only one of them. And I'm going to add that to 2 bicarbonates. And those are both with a -1 charge. So it should give me 0, but I just want to make sure of that. So 2 positive plus 2 negative will give me an overall charge of 0, which is exactly what I want, and I am good to go.